Jacob Smith. Color blindness is known as a condition in which a person has a reduced ability to distinguish between different colors, says Google Statistics. This is a very common condition that affects 3 million people each year in the United States. There is more than one type of color blindness, as well as many ways that one can become colorblind. Color blindness is a condition that affects a large amount of people in the U.S., but most people don't know much about it. For people to understand more about this condition, we will look into how one becomes colorblind, the different types, as well as my experience with the condition. People that are diagnosed with color blindness can get this condition in many different ways. The first way that someone can become colorblind is from genetics, as it can be inherited. Color blindness occurs when light-sensitive cells in the retina fail to respond appropriately to various varieties and wavelengths of light that enable people to see an array of colors, says Colorblind. Inherited forms of color blindness often are related to deficiencies in certain types of cones or outright absences of these cones, says Colorblind also. Depending on the type of color blindness one has depends on the difference in their gene makeup, says Colorblindness Awareness Facts. Genetics is not the only way that one can become colorblind. It can also be caused by eye diseases and medications, says Colorblind Awareness Facts. There are many different diseases that can cause color blindness, but there's just 5 main diseases that have been commonly known to create this condition. Those 5 diseases are Parkinson's disease, cataracts, Tigavine from epilepsy, Leber's hereditary optic neuropathy, and Kalman's syndrome, says All About Vision. Parkinson's disease may damage the light-sensitive cells in the retina. Cataracts can wash out color vision, making colors look less bright, and the drug Tigavine can reduce color vision, which it does in about 41% of the people taking that drug for epilepsy. And then Leber's and Kalman's are both inherited, and that can cause disruption in the pituitary gland, and color blindness can be a symptom. Inheritance, as well as this disease, are not the only ways that one can become colorblind, but also aging and accidents can affect the rods and cones in someone's eye, turning them colorblind permanently or temporarily, says ColorMax. There's a few ways that color blindness can be treated or cured. One option is to use the color correction system, which is a treatment method in which one takes a unique test and filters for the color corrections, and finding the right filter can cure color blindness, says ColorMax. Another option would be to purchase colorblind glasses that have a filter over the lens to correct the color balance depending on the specific type of the condition. With all the different ways that one can become colorblind, there's also many different types of color blindness that one person can be diagnosed with. The 2 main types of color blindness are red and green color blindness, as well as blue and yellow color blindness. With the red and green color blindness, there are 4 subtypes of conditions that exist under this one category, being protomoly, protonomopia, deuteramonoly, and deuteramonopia. All these make the colors look more green or turn colors darker and have red almost look like black. Along with red and green color blindness comes blue and yellow color blindness. There are 2 subtypes to blue and yellow color blindness, and those are tritomoly and tritomopia. Tritomoly makes blue appear more green, and it's hard to tell yellow and red from pink. Then tritomopia makes blue appear green and yellows appear as violet. Lastly, the third and more severe type of color blindness is complete color blindness. Like blue and green, there are 2 subtypes, and they are cone monochromacy and rod monochromacy. With cone monochromacy, you are only able to see one of the 3 main types of colors, while with rod monochromacy, you are unable to see colors except for black and white, this being the most severe, says the National Eye Institute. As stated before, there are 3 types of color blindness, and the most common being the red and green condition, and this is the type of color blindness I have. I found out when I was in elementary school that I was colorblind when my mother took me to the eye doctor to see if I needed glasses. After examination, the doctor had told me to take some other tests that showed that I was actually colorblind. I'm the only one in my family that is colorblind, so it came as a surprise. But with having the most common type of condition, no one was worried. They told me I had a type of red and green color blindness because they saw it was hard for me to distinguish red, green, and brown from each other, as well as violet, and blue. There is not many huge setbacks to being colorblind with the type that I have. After living with it for so long, I am able to better distinguish colors just with my knowledge of everything, and I have now in knowing what a color should be instead of what I am actually seeing. After finding out how one becomes colorblind and the different types, it is easier to understand how one like myself might feel with the condition. There are many different ways in which someone can be colorblind or born with the condition, such as inheriting the disease from a family member, taking medicine that may cause this condition, or having a disease such as Kalman, in which a symptom is colorblindness. With two of the main types of colorblindness being the red and green and blue and yellow, and the third being complete colorblindness. I've been colorblind my whole life, and there are a few negatives with having this condition, but I've been able to overcome many color obstacles. Colorblindness is an extremely common condition and should not be thought of anything as bad. In the end, almost every type of colorblindness can be resolved with a treatment and care or by purchasing glasses that apply filters of colors to your vision. And then for my visual aid, I have a picture of the colorblind glasses and shows how I could change someone's vision that's colorblind.